Hi, everyone. This is Representative Muffy Davis, and I'm going to give you the Idaho legislative update for the week of March 4th through March 8th. It is Friday, March 8th, and we had a huge hearing today in our Health and Welfare Committee on the House side to hear testimony and questions on House Bill. It was originally House Bill 228. It's now House Bill 249, which is the Medicaid exemption sideboard bill brought by Representative Anawada. About over 50 people testified today. Most of them, only one testified in support. That was the Idaho Freedom Foundation. We're in support of that bill with the sideboards. But everyone else testified in opposition to that bill because it institutes mandatory work requirements, which is not the will of the people, which was not what the people voted for when they voted for Proposition 2. There are several things, work proposals and ways to help people in transition, and opt-in work options are great, but this bill does not have that. And what it does through mandatory work requirements is add an added layer of bureaucracy and leaves about $1.5 million annually that the state has to pay just for that additional bureaucracy, 6 more employees to manage and cover all the necessary requirements that would be to the federal government to implement and to show that we're doing that and meeting those work requirements. Additionally, what those work requirements do is create a secondary gap population of people that would qualify for Medicaid, but because of whatever reason, an inability to get their paperwork in, the wrong box getting checked, whatever reason might happen, they don't get that paperwork in that shows that they meet the work requirements and therefore fall off of this coverage. And so it essentially nullifies what we all voted for and what the public said they wanted with Proposition 2. So all of the Health and Welfare Committee members, urge them to keep this bill in committee and not pass it out to the floor, and tell them that what you want, the will of the people, and the people want a clean Medicaid expansion bill passed. JFAC has funded it, net zero cost. They figured out a way to make it work. So just tell them to vote that appropriation bill through and get this health coverage, this Medicaid expansion coverage, to the thousands of Idahoans that need it. And the people have said that they want them to get that coverage. We had an interesting bill in the House on the floor, which was a new bill from the Education Committee, which would be for people to opt in. Parents have to opt their children in to sex education versus the current status where it is parents have the opportunity to opt out if they don't want their children to receive sex education. And so this would change the whole way and format in which sexual education happens in our schools. If you oppose that, please reach out to the Senate Education Committee. They are hearing it now, and urge them to keep the status quo the way it is, that opting out is a great option, and parents that have any issue or whatnot can do that. But we need to make sure that sexual education continues for our children so that we can keep them healthy and safe. Another bill that is sitting over in the Senate that was popular here in the House is House Bill 158A, which was solar panel bill, and it was to enable or to make it so that homeowners associations could not limit homeowners from putting solar panels up on their roofs if they wanted to. That is sitting in Senate State Affairs, has not had a hearing yet. So if you are in support of that, please write all of those senators that are in the State Affairs Committee over there. As well, we have the House Bill 99, which was to give judges the option to not have to institute mandatory minimums in cases where they believe there would be manifest injustice to the client. So it would give more power back to the judges and took it out of the prosecutor's hands and gives them that potential to decide what sentencing is appropriate for drug offenses and drug trafficking charges. That is now in the Senate Judiciary and Rules. We have heard that the Chairman Lakey, is not going to give it a hearing. So if you think this is important, which we passed by a supermajority in the House, please write Chairman Lakey and urge him to give House Bill 99, a mandatory minimums bill, a hearing. It needs to be heard, and the people deserve to have that done. Other great things going on. We were successful in being able to stop House Bill 203, which was the bill that was to have guns where anyone could carry a gun in a school. And thanks to the immense amount of public outcry and outreach, that chairman in the Senate State or in the House State Affairs Committee has urged that in the House, I believe, I'm not sure which committee, actually. I think it may be State Affairs, but it may be the Education Committee, but they are not going to give that bill, House 203, the Guns in School bill, a hearing. It was pretty much dead in committee. Marcy's Law, or Senate Joint Resolution 102, failed yesterday in the Senate on the floor, 23-12. It needed 2/3 of votes to pass. Because it was a constitutional amendment, and it was stopped and defeated there in the Senate. So we will not be seeing that bill over on the House. And there's another big one that's going on that you need to really be aware of and please write out to, and that is Senate Bill 1159 by Senator Grow, which is to change the way we do our ballot initiatives. Idaho already has one of the hardest states to get a ballot initiative on a ballot for voters to vote on. And this is one that's going to even try and make it even harder for people to get initiatives onto the ballots for people. And it's really a voter suppression bill. And it's trying to say that we don't want to hear what the people have to say or give them their option, their right to have legislation and to help make that legislation. So please write to Senator Grow and urge them to stop this ballot initiative bill and keep it from passing the Senate. Write all the senators, tell them that you don't believe that the will of the people should be mandated or should be limited, but that they should encourage these ballot initiatives, encourage to hear the will of the people, because that's what we're here to do. We are representatives of the people, and we really strongly believe that the people's voice should be heard and should be respected and followed. So with that, I am sorry I went a little long. It's a lot going on, but I'm trying to keep you updated, and hope you have a terrific weekend, and we will stay here and keep representing and keep pushing forward the will of the people, and you keep reaching out to everyone and let them know what it is you want. And with that, thanks so much, and I'll be back to you next week.